Hello and welcome to Tax File. I am your host, Laurie Bala Hassan, and today's episode promises a blend of knowledge, perspective, and practical insights on taxation in Nigeria. We'll kick things off with tax news, your quick guide to the latest developments and policy updates you should know. In our Did You Know, we'll share interesting facts that could help you make smarter tax decisions. Then we take you to the streets on our Vox Pop segment to capture what Nigerians think about current tax matters. We'll unpack those opinions in our knowledge zone, giving you deeper understanding and clear explanations. Up next, Professional Insight brings the experts to the table, helping you connect tax policy to real-life impact. And finally, What's on the Net showcases your online questions and reactions. And of course, we'll be responding to a few of them too. It's an informative and engaging lineup. Let's dive right in. And now, the news. The federal government says Nigeria's biggest tax challenge is not the tax rate, but the number of people and businesses that comply with tax laws. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, stressed that a fair and transparent tax system is key to funding critical public services and driving national development. The minister made the remarks during the maiden National Tax Awareness Day in Abuja. Saama Chido has the reports.
According to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, he said Nigeria is still not generating enough revenue from taxation despite ongoing reforms, adding that the country's revenue challenge is not about increasing tax rates, but ensuring that individuals and businesses who are legally required to pay tax fulfill their obligations. Oyedele stressed that a fair and transparent tax system is key to funding critical public services and driving national development. Speaking during the National Tax Awareness Day in Abuja, the minister commended the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria for supporting the government's tax reform agenda and promoting tax education. He also called for greater public awareness to help Nigerians understand that taxation is a shared responsibility that contributes to economic growth, infrastructure development, and improved public services.
The Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS, is strengthening its investment in workforce development with the launch of NRS Upspace, a digital learning platform designed to build a more skilled and knowledge-driven workforce. Executive Chairman Zak Adedeji says the initiative will expand access to professional development and recognize outstanding staff performance as part of efforts to promote a culture of continuous learning. Saama Chido again reports.
The executive chairman of the Nigerian Revenue Service, NRS, Zak Adedeji, says NRS Upspace is more than a digital learning platform. It is a strategic investment in the service workforce. He said the platform is designed to give every member of staff, regardless of role, rank, or location, equal access to learning and career development through structured learning pathways, competency assessment, and progression milestones. Adedeji said staff who demonstrate exceptional commitment and performance on the platform will be recognized periodically, reinforcing the service commitment to continuous learning and excellence. Introduced by the NRS Academy during a webinar held recently, the initiative marks the service transition from traditional training method to a more flexible technology-driven approach to staff development.
Key stakeholders in Nigeria's new tax regime have agreed to deepen collaboration to strengthen tax compliance, improve fiscal governance, and enhance revenue mobilization across all levels of government. The resolution was reached at a one-day workshop organized by the Nigeria Revenue Service, NRS, in Abuja. Aisha Abdulkader reports.
Key stakeholders have agreed on measures to strengthen tax compliance and improve revenue collection under Nigeria's new tax regime. The resolution followed a workshop organized by the Government and Large Taxpayers Directorate (GLTD) of the Nigeria Revenue Service (NRS), which brought together the service, State Commissioners of Finance, and State Accountants General to review the implementation of Nigeria's new tax laws and withholding tax regulations. Participants identified weak documentation, fragmented reporting systems, non-remittance of taxes by government institutions, and inconsistent tax administration as key challenges. They resolved to establish a joint technical working group to improve intergovernmental coordination, while the NRS reaffirmed its statutory audit mandate and announced plans to expand its tax compliance capacity building program to all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory.
And that's a wrap on the news. Let's join Mariam on the Vox Pop segment.
Hello and welcome to the segment. My name is Mariam Julde Adura, and today we will be finding out the penalties for non-compliance by virtual asset service providers under the new Tax Act. Come. We'd like to find out what you think are the penalties for non-compliance by virtual asset service providers under the new Tax Act.
So the penalty for non-compliance by virtual asset service providers is 10 million naira in the first month, and then 1 million subsequently, or they face a revocation or suspension of their SEC license.
If I will know, well, what I know about the penalties are that they are multifaceted. For instance, there's a 10 million penalty for the first month. Then we have a 1 million penalty for subsequent months. Then if this thing continues, if the breach continues, then the SEC the prosecutor will be penalized by SEC. SEC will withdraw the licenses of the virtual asset companies and the virtual asset providers. So these are the laws that I think that are applicable for virtual asset providers.
What are the penalties for non-compliance by virtual asset service providers under the new Tax Act?
The new tax provides for 10 million naira for the first month, and then 1 million for any subsequent month that you delay to pay. And if you continue persistently, you can receive a suspension of your license, or your license can be revoked.
I'm aware that for non-compliance, you are going to be charged 10 million naira for non-compliance, and subsequent months, subsequent years thereafter, you will charge 1 million naira for non-compliance. And if it persists, SEC has an authority to shut down the business because of non-compliance.
The future of tax is here. Are you ready? This is Rev 360, a smarter way to manage your taxes. Better efficiency, stronger compliance, and improved taxpayers' experience. End-to-end automation, real-time processing, and seamless compliance. Now all on one intelligent platform. Secure and transparent, no stress, just fast, smooth compliance. Rev 360. This is the future. NRS. Together we rise. Together we prosper.
Did you know a virtual asset service provider, VASP, that fails to comply with its statutory obligations such as registration, reporting, and disclosure requirements is liable to a monetary penalty? For more information, please visit www.nrs.gov.ng.
Ashu Abe takes us on the Knowledge Zone.
Hello and welcome to Knowledge Zone, where we dive deeper into interesting conversations had on the streets. I remain your host, Ashu Abe. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what the penalty is for non-compliance by virtual Asset Service Providers, VASPs, under the 2026 tax law. Under the 2026 Nigerian tax regime, particularly the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025, a virtual asset service provider, VASP, that fails to comply with the statutory obligations such as registration, reporting, and disclosure of requirements is liable to a mandatory penalty of 10 million naira for the first month of default. If the non-compliance continues, an additional 1 million naira is imposed for each subsequent month until the default is remedied. Beyond the financial penalties, the law also empowers regulators to impose stricter sanctions. Persistent non-compliance may lead to suspension or revocation of the VASP operating license by the Security and Exchange Commission, SEC, effectively preventing the entity from continuing operations in Nigeria. Over to you, Laurie.
And now to our professional insight segments.
My name is Adeoluwa Komolafe. I'm the Director of Information Security and Risk Management at NRS. The role basically is to safeguard our digital infrastructure and ultimately to ensure taxpayers are confident in using our system because they know the system is secure and their data and transactions are safe. Tax systems are critical systems, and when you're driving digital adoption and implementation, what is essential is that you build security by design. You're not adding security on a product after the product has been built. Security has to be part of the foundation. That ensures that you define the right security controls as part of the build itself. Now, why is this important? As we all know, tax information is extremely critical. It's got different information about the taxpayer, their identification numbers, maybe BVN, their name, addresses, date of birth, and whatever information that a fraudster, for example, can use. So it's essential that the system that holds that data is extremely secure, and that's why cybersecurity is important when building digital tax systems. We're dealing with data here basically. So part of what the NRS has done is to ensure security is key. And essentially, that's why we have a department that is focused on ensuring that taxpayers' data is secure. We ensure data is encrypted, both at rest and in transit. We ensure that taxpayers are only able to access the part of the system that they need. Your data is not visible to anybody. It's only, even within the NRS, your data is only visible to the people that need to use it to compute your tax obligations or address to issues when you raise those issues. So basically, our job is to ensure that your data maintains its confidentiality, maintains its integrity, and it's available when you need it. The system is available. Your data is in the form you've presented it and the form it's meant to be presented. But to achieve all that, there are lots of technical stuff I don't want to bore us with. But there's a lot that goes into ensuring security is in place for taxpayers' data. The threats are evolving. And to make matters worse, the threats are global. So it's the same. Someone can sit in a house in Europe, Asia, or America, or anywhere, and they're trying to attack systems in Nigeria or any other part of the world. So what we've done is to ensure that we are connected to global threat intelligence fields. Apart from using locally adopted standards, both within the public sector frame, we also look at standards from the financial services area. We look at international standards to ensure that we are deploying the right controls. The threats keep evolving, and our systems also, and the systems of protection would also evolve, and we try to keep pace with the way the threats are evolving. It's not an easy or a tick box exercise. There are different sorts of things that ensures that we are able to maintain security of our digital platforms. But we keep evolving, and we ensure that we're hopefully a step ahead of the bad guys. As they say in the security world, your weakest link is probably the breadth of your security control. So if you deploy security controls that you've spent billions of naira or dollars on, and the man using the system is not aware of the sort of things they should have in place, then it negates everything you've put in place. So we advise that the security controls we've put on the system, taxpayers should ensure that they're not sharing their passwords. Where multi-factor authentication is deployed, they should ensure that those multi-factor authentication are in place for them. Also simple things like ensuring that the sites you go to are the original sites, because part of what the bad guys do is they try and mimic sites of organizations like the NRS. So you could say something like nrs.gov.ng, but someone else can do mrs.gov.ng and give it the same look. And if you're not vigilant enough, you click on that, you put in your details there, they harvest your details, they go onto the real system, they use that to access your account. So simple things like that, the sort of emails they receive, even when they're looking for support and they go to our support channels, they need to ensure that they're sending that support request to the right channel. So it's more about vigilance from the taxpayer's part. We'll do our bit to ensure that the system is secure. We put the right controls there. We're not saying we're leaving the taxpayers to deal with the controls. We put the controls there, but we also expect them to deal with these basic things so they're not easy victims. Like someone calling them and saying, "No, I'm calling you from NRS, give me your username and password." That would never happen. The taxpayers need to ensure that they're very, very vigilant. In that way, they're helping us secure the systems better. Trying to get information based on what you know. So someone sends you a mail and the mail seems to be like, it's from NRS. Oh, we need this information from you to do something on your profile. Give us your username and password. Or someone is trying to log on, that multi-factor comes up because they have your phone number. They call you and tell, "Oh, you've just received a 4-digit number on your phone. Can you tell us what that is? We need to use it for something." You know, like I said earlier, it's about vigilance. You know, we would put the controls in place, but the taxpayer has to be vigilant. The sort of emails they receive, the phone calls they receive, they need to also ensure they're going to the right channels for their complaints. If they cannot reach us electronically, they should go to an office and make sure they're speaking to someone that is from NRS. The taxpayer should immediately log out of their system, and if they've logged onto other systems, they should log out of those active sessions and contact our support channels. Then we'll offer them the right support if they've been breached. will investigate and provide necessary support. But the immediate action to take is log out of whatever session you're on and, well, switch off your system or whatever. But they need to contact the service on the right support channels, and we'll give them the right support. There are people on those channels waiting to offer those support services. Security by default, simple by design, right? So from the base, we're applying security, but we also know that the usage has to be seamless for the taxpayer. So we're not applying security to make the system difficult to use. In fact, our users will not even see the sort of security we've applied at the back end. They would experience it, with the sort of questions they might be thrown, or put in your username and password. There's a second level of authentication, but the main core of the security practices we've embedded in the system will not be visible to them, but the use is seamless. There has to be, because at the end of the day, it's all about the taxpayer. So we are doing the hard work of ensuring that we've built in security into the product to make usability seamless for the taxpayer. We'll strike the right balance without compromising security. And that's why we say security by default, simple by design.
Over to Swateku for what's on the net.
Good day and welcome to What's on the Net. My name is Joyce Swateku. At Charles Sheyi Kilanko is asking, don't reside in Nigeria and I've been trying to register for self-service portal but not receiving OTP. I've been paying and filing my taxes through LIRS, Lagos Internal Revenue Service. I'm trying to move to the NRS to start filing here, but after entering my name, I don't receive OTP. My line is active and I receive other OTPs from even my bank. Can you please resolve it? At Charles, the tax authority depends on the type of taxpayer. If you operate a limited liability company, the federal taxes are administered by the NRS. However, if you operate a business in your personal name, your personal income tax remains with the relevant state internal revenue service, such as LIRS. These tax obligations cannot be transferred between tax authorities. If you are experiencing OTP issues during registration, kindly raise a support ticket for assistance. Pride of Africa is asking, hello, please, how can I get a tax clearance certificate for my company for the 2025 year? I tried using Rev 360, but it showed 2026 tax clearance rejected, and I can't find where to request for 2025. Please kindly assist. Thank you. A tax clearance certificate, TCC, can only be requested while processing for that assessment year. If you do not apply for a 2025 TCC during the applicable period, you cannot submit a new request now. However, if your 2025 TCC was previously approved, you can retrieve it through Rev 360 or contact your tax office for assistance. Please note that while outstanding returns can still be filed, a TCC cannot be issued retrospectively for a year in which no application was made. Over to you, Laurie.
And that's a wrap on this edition of Tax File. We hope today's discussion has helped you see taxation from a fresh, more practical angle. Remember, learning about tax is not just about compliance, it's about empowerment. Stay connected with us on social media. Share your thoughts and let's keep the conversation alive. I am Laurie Bala Hassan. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious, stay compliant, and keep watching Tax File. NRS, together we rise, together we prosper.